So one of the things that I found very confusing when I was on my thyroid journey was all the information out there about diet and lifestyle factors that in the end I found out actually were hurting my thyroid. So I'm going to go over with you a few of my favorite tips for diet and lifestyle factors to kind of help you on your journey so that you can avoid some of these pitfalls that can happen while you're on your journey. So first and foremost, one of the biggest things that I like to talk about is when you start cutting calories. I know firsthand, this is what I did. I was told by numerous doctors that I needed to eat less when I was trying to lose weight, not keeping in mind that my thyroid was already slow. Your thyroid will pay the price. If you start cutting calories, your body thinks you're in starvation mode. It's going to slow your metabolism down even further. And you already have a slow metabolism when you have a slow thyroid. So be very mindful of that because it can really cause a lot of damage to you on your thyroid journey. The other factor as well is we're talking about restricting calories is even calorie counting. I don't recommend it. I think a lot of people get really hung up on that. And they get, 1 calorie over and they're upset about what they ate for that day. So if I look at anything, I have people count macros, but I would avoid calorie counting and restricting your calories. If you are first and foremost new to watching me here, if you could do me a very big favor, if you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And then if you want to get a notification every time I release a new video, you can hit that little bell so you get a notification when I release one. So secondly, something else that is a very common pitfall when it comes to on a thyroid journey is exercise. So many people come to me and they are over exercising. They're exercising way too long, way too often, way too hard with a thyroid condition. Remember, your adrenals are so closely connected to your thyroid. So if you are over exercising, your adrenals are going to end up responding and it will give feedback to your thyroid. If you are exercising, doing like long duration cardio, you're doing cardio for way too long, we're talking like over an hour, that can be really, really hard on your thyroid. It will end up paying the price. You have to be very mindful and very careful with exercise. I have a couple of different videos on this as well. I talk about this all the time because my background is I'm also a physical therapist and personal trainer. So you have to kind of find that happy medium. But I always say go for weight training, stretching, walking, things like that first and foremost, and try to avoid cardio as much as you can. If you do it as an interval and it's for a very short amount of time and only if you feel okay afterwards. So the third thing that I want to talk about as far as pitfalls and things that can really affect your thyroid health is carbohydrates. A lot of people end up cutting carbs. I actually just started working with several new women who came to me because their doctor kept telling them they needed to go low carb in order to lose weight. They both have hypothyroidism. One of them actually has Hashimoto's. And this is actually can backfire. I did this myself. I did low carb many years ago. It did not work for me. Remember, your liver needs glucose. It has to have glucose in order to convert T4 to T3. T4 is inactive thyroid hormone. T3 is active. You don't make very much active. You only make 20%. So that conversion, most of it happens in the liver. If the liver's not getting glucose, you're going to have a really hard time with that conversion and give yourself active thyroid hormone. There's many other things why I would recommend not going low carb, but this is probably one of the biggest one when it comes to the thyroid. The fourth thing that I want to mention is when you're eating inflammatory foods. Inflammatory foods like gluten, sugar, soy, dairy can be inflammatory for a lot of people, especially with Hashimoto's. Processed things, those can be very, very hard on your thyroid. So I would cut out your inflammatory foods. You could even follow something like the AIP, which is the autoimmune protocol. I do have information on that. So if you want any information on that, leave a comment below and I will make sure I get that over to you. But it's a great, great way to cut out inflammatory foods for 30 days and just give your body a breather and a break. Lastly, the other thing that I want to talk about is stress. Stress is such a really big one, and I can't emphasize this enough. Remember that when we are under stress, your adrenals are going to kick in because they're going to release cortisol. Over time, that can only happen for so long. When that's happening, one of the things that can happen with your thyroid hormones is it will inhibit that conversion from T4 to T3. Because remember, if we're under stress, we're in fight or flight, the last thing your body thinks is, oh, it's safe to have really good high metabolism right now. We're going to slow this person down. And so what ends up happening is when you're trying to convert T4 over to T3, it goes backwards. And we call it reverse T3. It's a marker you can have checked on your thyroid panel. Reverse T3 will actually go up. And again, it's protection. Anytime I see reverse T3 elevated, the first thing I always ask is, how's your stress? Because typically stress is now there's a lot of reasons it can happen, but stress is one of the biggest reasons that I see why we'll have an increase in reverse T3. And it's literally a protective mechanism. It's to stop your body from having this conversion because it's trying to protect you right now because you are under stress. Always keep that in mind. The other factor too is stress can create a lot of inflammation, a ton of inflammation. And inflammation will also cause issues with your thyroid. So that's why you've got to work on stress management. Whatever way is going to work for you. Everybody's very different with it. Some people like meditation. Some people want to go for a walk. Some people just need to literally be left alone and be on their own and listen to music or whatever it is. But it's something that's got to work for you. But stress management is absolutely super essential. It's very crucial. So some of my 5 big tips for you as far as diet and lifestyle factors that I would be careful with. First and foremost, avoid cutting calories, restricting calories. I would not do that. Be careful with your exercise. If you're exercising too much, too hard, too long, that can also affect your thyroid. Thirdly, carbohydrates. Stop avoiding carbohydrates. You actually need them. Remember, it's good carbs. So starches like potatoes and sweet potatoes, fruits, those are your good carbs. Fourth, avoid inflammatory foods. That's going to be very detrimental. We want to cut those inflammatory foods out at least for a while to give your body a break. And the 5th point is to work on stress management. This is going to be a very important piece as well. So if you have any questions for me, drop them below. Let me know if there's something else that comes up with you. Like I said, if you want more information about the AIP, I do have a document that I can give you for that as well. So just drop a comment below and I can get that over to you to kind of help guide you as far as how to start cutting out inflammatory foods. There's a process with it, by the way. You know, you cut them out for 30 days and then you do a reintroduction. There's kind of a process with how it goes in stages. So again, reach out if you have more questions with that and you want more information. Thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you on the next one. Bye.